guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go with this great comeback story. This is from a guy, sounds like he's in his early 40s, and he's sharing his story from like 15, 16 years ago when he got divorced. Divorced at a very early age because he got married at a ridiculously early age. And you're going to see, like a lot of guys, he really struggled after the divorce, getting dumped, all the hardships that followed and all that. But this guy, unlike many, decided at one point he was done suffering and decided to turn it all around. And by surrounding himself with people that cared, focusing on his purpose, and really getting a kick in the pants from a very unlikely source, he turned his life around and he's kicking butt and taking names after the whole thing. And take a wild guess what happened to his ex. The same wife that dumped him, who obviously we can all speculate that there is probably cheating going on. Well, take a guess what happened to her. It ain't good. And that'd be a great one to go over here, guys, just to show you, for all you guys maybe that are struggling right now, wherever you are in the world, with a breakup, a divorce, you can get through it. Everybody's story is different, but they're also, in many ways, the same. And by doing the right things and focusing on yourself one day at a time and all that, you can get past this and move on. I cannot stress that enough. And he's sharing this story to help guys do that. And by the way, this actually, for once, is not a subscriber story. This is a story a guy posted on Reddit, and it was sent over to me. And it sounds absolutely like it's real. Ordinarily, I reserve Reddit stories for the other channels, but this wasn't crazy or anything. It was just it was so much like the stories here. He probably didn't know my channel then, probably didn't like me, that was worth sharing to really help guys out. So the title of the post or story is My Divorce and Life After Divorce Success Story, A Male's Perspective. So he starts off, says, I want to tell you about my divorce story, in case it helps any males out there. I got divorced circa 2008-2009. It was a very tough time to get divorced because I came from a conservative family and the real world was also crashing due to the financial crisis at the time. Well, my ex and I began dating when we were both 19 years old. It was a college love story. We got married very young, around 23 years of age. Smack, dumbasses. Why? Why couldn't you wait? Seriously. But he said he comes from a very conservative family, so, probably the culture and religion and all that. But still, I don't care. That's still dumb. And I know he knows that now. You should be working on your grind then, guys. We got divorced at 26. There's my point. What real life experience did they have by 23 years old to prepare them for that? Or money, or all those other things. Come on. And before any of you guys type in the comment section, I know some of you guys are dying to do it, saying about your parents or your grandparents. Times are different. And even if it was 15 years ago. We were together for a total of 7 years. Okay, so you got together at 19 and divorced at 26. Okay, 7 years. We owned a property together. We had a dog. I was blindsided and devastated by the divorce. I felt depressed, sad, thinking about offing myself at the onset of the divorce. The latter is why I'm sharing this story. Well, guys, it's understandable when you feel like it's all over and your life's over and all that, and many guys feel like they want to end themselves. Guys, don't do it. It's not worth it ending your life over somebody that abandoned you, kicked you to the curb, did awful things to you. There are people that care about you. Embrace them. Fight. Guys, find the strength as men that you have and don't do that. Get help. I really didn't know how to be single as I had never been. Marriage and a wedding felt scary for me personally, and to be honest, because I can already see that I was still a kid and was struggling with what I wanted to be in life. My wife and I talked to each other like high schoolers. We were doing well, but I started to really focus on my career and chasing money as I grew up poor. He's obviously talking about before they got divorced. Well, good for him. That's what you're supposed to do in your 20s, guys. Because the younger you are, what you do in your 20s really sets the stage for your life. And you want to bust your tail and save as much money as you can to let it grow over the decades. I think my wife was unhappy because of it. But I really think now that people should not get married in their 20s. Thank you. No, they shouldn't. I mean, if a guy is like 29, okay, fine. He spent his 20s making something of himself. Preferably he's like 30 years old and she's younger, because usually statistically guys are older. So if he was like 29 and 3/4 and she was 25, okay. But he's got to be older, and amongst many other things. 1 year before divorce, I think this was perhaps the most painful part of the divorce. My ex agreed to buy a house with me, And 1 month later, after the house purchase, circa 2007, she was telling me that maybe we should get divorced. Are you freaking kidding me? She obviously knew that she was having reservations about the marriage or was cheating or something and still went on to purchase the house. You know how much that complicates things? Probably in her psychotic female mind, she's thinking, well, I'm having doubts, but if we buy a house together in the suburbs with a white picket fence, then maybe I'll feel better. No, thanks a lot, a-hole. And oh, by the way, for you guys that are my age, they bought the house in 2007. Yeah, we know how that turned out. She was telling me that maybe we should get divorced. Everyone was buying houses on leverage around this time. It was the thing to do. Smack. When everybody else is doing something, it's usually not always the best idea. And buying homes on leverage, which a lot of people did back then, terrible idea, as many of you all remember. This was basically a purgatory year for me, and I would say the toughest year of my life. And yet you survived, brother, and that hardened you. We were struggling to connect. I was busy with my job and increasingly becoming wary about my marriage. 6 months after the house purchase, my wife asked for a divorce. I tried to convince her to think it through and made many Hail Mary attempts to win her back. Smack! No, she should be trying to win you back. You don't chase after people that are throwing you away like a piece of garbage. No, that's just going to turn them off more. She was talking to her friends the whole time about it. Of course she was. She didn't agree. Sometimes I wonder if she was cheating on me. I'm not an insecure type, and I don't really care to know if that was going on. Flip a coin, but usually when a woman breaks up with a guy, again, they almost always have some guy in the picture who they're moving on to. Rare is the day that women can be alone from a breakup. I knew divorces were expensive, and I didn't want to spend money on lawyers. So I told her I want her happiness, and if she wants a divorce, I will sign the papers right away. Well, how about your happiness to get out of it? Our divorce papers cost $300 back then to fill out, and we went to court ourselves to get it done. We didn't have much money, so there was not much to split. We owned a house, which was basically 40% underwater due to the financial crisis. Ouch! Damn. I gave her whatever money I had in my account, and she walked away from the house with the dog. Oh, not the dog, bitch. But we all know eventually things turned around, so that house, you held on to it, unless it was in the freaking hood or something was seriously wrong with it. Eventually you break even and then have a profit on it in time. But at least the divorce was smooth. That's a good thing. But then again, you were married 3 years and didn't have much to your name. I'm just sorry about the dog. Well, I grew up poor, but never had negative equity or debt in my life. But now I was saddled with a very high debt and mortgage, a house which had lost 50% of its value at this point, divorced, and no savings in my account. Effectively, I had a large paper loss from divorce, and so the divorce was very expensive when accounted for that. I wasn't sure if my job will continue, as I could be laid off anytime due to the financial crisis. And as a saying, when it rains, it pours. Guys, many of you that are like my age and been through enough crap know that usually that's what happens. It's like just one bad thing after another. You're not tested, guys, as men, as human beings, if you will, during the good times. You're tested during the hard times. The hard times and how you handle them really show you who you are and your character. And understandably, he's young, going through hell. And our guy suffers. But our guy also eventually thrives. Remember that, guys. If you're going through a hard time, this is what makes you the man you are. You can do it. On top of all this, my conservative parents made me feel very guilty for being divorced at such a young age and embarrassing our family. Smack to your family. Every one of them. I line them all up, including your grandma, if they're shoe-shaming you. Making you feel guilty. You didn't want a divorce. It was your bitch-ass wife that divorced you. I'd be like, F you, Mom and Dad. You're not getting a Christmas card from me. I ain't coming to Christmas dinner. I'm not coming to Thanksgiving dinner. Who would do that to their kid? They could clearly see he was upset, going through a hard time. Fucking assholes. How I felt during this stage. I felt angry, betrayed, depressed, thinking about offing myself at one point, and just simply embarrassed. I felt so numb walking around everyone. I had an anxiety attack. I felt chest pains at times, and I cried a lot. This was the lowest point in my life up until this point. When I went out with friends, I felt lost, like I was missing something, and I kept thinking about the life I had. Dude, just understand, you were with your wife for 7 years, dating, then married. And he feels like a failure. And mom and dad aren't helping either with their shame. Fucking assholes. Yeah. It was a big part of his life with her. But you have to move on. Now he says, 1 year after divorce, I was processing everything, and because I grew up in a conservative family, I had never been single in my life. Divorce was extremely hard on me. It is during this time that my sister took me under her wing. My sister told me to leave the house and move in with her young family. I left the house, but I did still pay the mortgage, but moved into her small apartment with her family. That is very kind of your sister, man. Seriously, because she's just starting a family, and you said small apartment. Obviously, you kept the house, but just you're paying for it, but living with her for the support. Here's the advice part from my divorce. He says, find any support that you can to help you get through the first year after divorce, and seek positive help. I still felt like a zombie every single day for 1 year. I made some desperate attempts to get my ex-wife back, and she didn't care. Smack again. Never chase after or try to win somebody back that's throwing you away. I get he was hurting. I get he was desperate. I get, and obviously this is a long time ago, but you can't do this, guys. No, begging never works. You look pathetic. Just give her enough time. She'll be back, and you won't want her then. It hurt, and it hurt a lot. I didn't know how to be single. I thought about my past life every single moment of every single day. I felt extremely depressed and sad. In my friends and family circle, every single male that I knew that had gotten divorced was a complete loser. They couldn't get their life back together. One of them even became bankrupt and went crazy. Well, that's a lot of people getting divorced in your family and his family and friends. But then again, statistically, half are going to end that way. Didn't mean they're losers for that. They chose not to improve themselves or to move on, I mean, who knows what happened with their situations, but it's very likely it was resolved with the wife ending it with them, and, But then again, if they were part of his family, probably they were being shamed too by the assholes in the family. I had not known any successful divorce stories. I spoke with an online therapist and coach in 2009 to help me get through the divorce. I told them what had happened and how I felt. On top of that, I told them this view that every single divorced male that I know is a complete loser, and I'm scared that I'm going to be that person. Well, dude, if you allow yourself to be that person, you're going to be that person. If you say, I'm not going to be like everybody else, I'm going to turn shit around, there you go. You got to change your mindset. Well, this coach and therapist managed to break my thinking with one snippy rhetorical question. She said, why don't you change that and become a successful divorcee? I never had a moment like this in my life where one question changed my entire thinking. Well, good for her. I thanked her and immediately started reprocessing my thoughts. What if divorce doesn't have to be this loser thing in my life? What if this is the start of an awesome life? At this point, this was a turning point for me in processing my grief and divorce. At this point, I changed from a teenage attitude 27-year-old man to a real man. Good for you, bro. And you got good advice. Yeah, exactly. Change the mindset. Become a successful guy who's divorced. It happens all the time. You don't have to be like your other family members and friends. Well, I started thinking about what I wanted in my life and started being open to learning and experiencing new things. I started reading cheesy self-help books such as Success Principles by Jack Canfield. Cheesy self-help books are very useful when you are going through a low in life, particularly if you don't have a good role model or success stories that you know personally. This particular book, I can't remember what it said, but it really opened my mind to try new things and imagine a new life for yourself. Well, these self-help books don't sound so cheesy if they actually helped you, dude. I think this is why channels like mine on YouTube are very popular with a lot of guys, because it helps them see that they're not alone. So many guys run in and tell me how this channel and the stories they hear and the community that we all have here shows them they're not alone. It helps them get through some tough times. Into the second year of divorce, I made my mind that I was not going to be a loser divorce story. Good for you, man. And guys, by the way, this is where things get good. I'm going to make everyone wish they were divorced because it turned out to be so good for me. I started working very hard at my job, and I started being more ballsy. I asked out a coworker at work. Smack! Never ask out a coworker at work. Now, this is before Me Too and everything like that, but no. Nuh-uh. Well, she promptly rejected me, and I was so happy. Not because I was rejected, but because I knew I had gotten over my ex. Okay, well, there you go. Next day at work, I was smiling and very happy that this coworker must have thought I was a weirdo. It didn't matter, and I knew it was on some level, some next level stuff that I'd never known before. I started reading more and more and going out more. I worked in Chicago. I started hanging out with coworkers and my college friends, going to bars, meeting new people. I tried new things, new workout routines, learning to play guitar, and reading many books. Wonderful! This is key. Focusing on the job, making money, self-improvement, hanging out with other people, trying new things. He's feeling better. Asking out girls, and if they reject you, okay, at least he tried. He's feeling better. I attempted a startup, dated many women, just experienced many new things. In this stage of my post-divorce life, I really learned that life and your reactions to life are what you make of it. You can be happy if you let yourself be happy. Thank you. Life is what you make it, guys. It says, now we're at 3 to 5 years after divorce. At this point after divorce, I really didn't think about my ex at all. Wonderful. She would still call me at times while being drunk. Look who's back. Noticed he moved on. Got his shit together. Stop focusing on himself. Stop chasing after her. And look who's back. Big surprise. Coming back for the good guy who she dumped. Clearly, because at this point she's probably 30 years old, early 30s at this point. She's not as desirable as she was now she crossed the 30 mark. And now remembers that good guy she was married to. Nope, not happening. She would call me at times while being drunk. I felt sorry for her. Smack. Nice guy. I wouldn't feel sorry for her. I'd laugh at her. I advise her to start dating new people and get her life together. The lesson here for me is that do not turn into substance abuse during divorce. I did not. I'd done that in college. I never wanted to go back to that sort of low. Yes, guys, it's tempting to drink or do drugs and all that stuff to escape the pain. Don't do it. It's a terrible idea. And also, it would cement me in a male loser divorcee path, which I abhorred. Experience the pain and let it pass through. You'll be stronger for it. Yes, you got to go through the pain, guys. During this 3 to 5 year post-divorce period, I continued to date. I learned new things like card counting and blackjack. I was on the recreational mini golf team and recreational basketball team. I was happy, but started noticing that I was becoming sad at times for not being in a relationship or being with somebody. Dude, you don't have to, you're obviously he's a relationship guy, but it doesn't mean that his life is incomplete without someone in it. Because look what happened when he was with the wrong someone. Get a dog. Get a cat. Obviously, he's a dog person, so get a dog. Some of my best friends were now either married for the first time or were in a serious relationship. I've been to a few friends' weddings now. It felt weird to me that I was single now while my friends are married. It was the reverse before. Yeah, dude, and statistically, those friends of yours, half of them are going to get divorced or be unhappy marriages. Meanwhile, you're a single guy, does whatever the hell you want. Think about that. My dating and short relationships were starting to make me insecure. I started to wonder if maybe there's something wrong with me and that women don't like me because I had been divorced. No. The initial high of post-divorce had gone, and now I was faced with the reality of being single. I still felt happy because I had a job and I was enjoying life. I felt like I hadn't become a loser. You weren't a loser because you chose not to be a loser. But again, you don't need someone in your life to determine your success in life or to be happy. Now, obviously he's a relationship guy, so if that's who he is, on that basis, okay, after years of healing and getting his life together, and he has, then put yourself out there and start meeting people and all that. But be smart about it this time. Don't rush into anything. Well, 5 years after the divorce, I met my future wife. Aha. Well, he gets married a second time, but this works out. I continue to meet people, though, through various online dating sites. Here's when I met my future wife. When I met her, immediately there was a connection. It's usually how it works. She was very different from my ex. She wanted to build her life on her own. She was working and going to school at night to better herself. Well, cool. Just so long as she's not one of these obnoxious, strong and empowered types. You know, she's doing this to help herself and one day help a family, but not turn into one of these feminist assholes, which clearly she was not. Well, we started dating exclusively and went through the girlfriend-boyfriend phase. Well, that's usually how it works. And then 2 years later, I proposed to her. Smack! So much for waiting. You got lucky, my man. I wanted 2 years. Jesus. And she said yes, and we got married. Well, 10 years later, we are happily married. My prior after divorce was that I would become a loser after divorcee. I didn't imagine the life that I have now. Well, dude, I'm glad it worked out for you. 2 years a little too fast for the proposal, my man, but anyhow, I'm glad you're happy. And that's good to hear. And the reason your life got better is because you made the choice and worked at it. I think my advice for people going through divorce and my younger self is the following. Now listen to this for all you guys that are struggling right now. Number one, know that life after divorce will be much better if you let it be. I wish someone would have told me this. 2, find your support, seek help. Avoid negative people and substance abuse. Negative people, and that could be your friends and family. You mean your a-hole parents and grandma and uncles and whoever that were giving you a hard time? Yeah, F them. 3, forgive your ex and move on. Take more losses than you need to just so you can move on. That's what I did. Give the other person more property and more money, just for your peace of mind. Don't lose yourself. Money can be made. Time will heal you. You're not losing anything if you have yourself. Well, I get where he's coming from with that comment, but also he was also 26 and he didn't have anything to give away, so it wasn't that big a deal. But if you're 46 and you have some serious assets, that's a different ball game. But he was young. What the hell number? 4 or 5. Time heals all wounds. This is what I experienced. 1 year max to get over it, I think. And 5 years to start off a completely different life. In 10 years, you will see your previous life like someone else's. My father told me after rebuilding my life is that he had never seen anything like this. You have rebuilt your life twice from rock bottom. It's impressive. Yeah, is this the same father that was a fucking asshole to you? Yeah, you showed him. And last one, and finally, divorce is an opportunity to be the person you always wanted to be. Amen. And for most people, is to stay single and not go through that again. So I hope like hell this guy continues on with a happy marriage and all that, and, obviously learns from his mistakes. And that's that. So anyhow, guys, for all you guys that might be struggling right now, there you go. There's a guy that went through the hell, and he suffered, and you heard that, and turned things around. But at the end of the day, he made the choice. I'm not going to be like all those people, friends and family members, the men who got divorced and lost their minds, became total losers. He, one day at a time, and he got through it. And some people would eventually get remarried and learn some things and marry the right one, hopefully. And other people, never doing that again. But it's your own choice. So you can get through it, guys. But again, embrace the right people. Exercise. Focus on things that are important to you. Your hobbies, your interests, the gym. Doing well, and in time you'll get better. So I thought it'd be a good one to cover here. And again, this is a Reddit post, and I believe this is real. Most of the Reddit stories out there are kind of crazy, which is why I do them on the other channels, because they're funny as hell. But this one was dead on, just like something somebody was sending to me. So major respect to this guy. I'll probably never, it was a post, so he probably doesn't know who I am, but I salute this guy and all the guys that have struggled and gone through hell and turned around. Again, guys, it's not the good times that define your character. It is the hard times. And I'm sure many of you guys that have been through the hard times understand that. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And, guys, you got a great story you want to share, send it my way, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. And if it's a good one, I'll most certainly cover it. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.